Welcome one and all to my review of Atelier Mysterious Trilogy, 3 JRPGs in one. It's a bit of a beast. Now, there are so many Atelier games on the Switch. We're only in April and we've already had 4 this year, including this trilogy of games. And if my calculations are correct, and I'm pretty sure they are, there are 83 Atelier games currently on the system. Well, okay, it's 13, but probably 83 by the time the Switch is over. For a series of incredibly niche JRPGs, 13 is an insane amount. It's almost too much, and I bet people get a sweat on just thinking about which one to start with. How about the Atelier Mysterious Trilogy? Sophie, Firis, and Lady Suelle. Let's take a look. Now, the story for these 3 games in the series are connected by the theme of mystery. Sophie, the first game, has a mysterious book. Firis has a mysterious journey, which is a bit of a stretch if I'm being honest. And the final entry sees Lydie and Suelle dive into mysterious paintings. The story for each individual game, they're not connected in terms of overarching story. In fact, they're fairly self-contained, but there is a lot of crossover between them in terms of characters. For example, in the first game, Sophie, she is a young apprentice alchemist trying to help regain the memories of a sentient book. Whereas the sequel, Firis, takes place 4 years later, and in turn Sophie becomes an associate of Firis, becoming a sort of mentor. The final game takes place 4 years further, and both Sophie and Firis will help Lydie and Suelle in their adventure. So while you can enjoy the games by themselves in their own little bubble, there is a slight advantage to playing them in order, just for the biggest impact, as you'll know many of the characters and their history, even if I think the side characters are somewhat inconsequential in some of these games. The stories themselves are fairly harmless, charming adventures, lots of discovery, becoming better, maturing, finding yourself in the world, that sort of thing. The characters are fine enough, but we've seen better before, as they do lack a little bit of depth, but still very enjoyable romps, if I may say so. Just be warned, cutscene, cutscene, cutscene. Now, I love good character development, but these 3 games are like the pinnacle of piss-taking, so please do have some patience. It helps if you try to get involved with the characters as much as possible because they are gonna be babbling a lot. The games themselves are a mix of character development, of course, ingredients gathering, monster battling, and alchemic mixing. The 3 games here are definitely made from the same mold, as comes with the territory of developing a massive 40-hour JRPG every single year without fail. But they do differ in some key points. You're doing exactly the same thing, but in slightly different ways, and somehow they make something that's almost exactly the same feel quite a lot different. It's weird. I realize I'm contradicting myself, but that's what this trilogy has done to me. Battles, for the most part, are fairly simple. You have your attacks, your special attacks, turn-based JRPG goodness. Combos, attacks are thrown in for good measure, which is always a series staple. Sophie, the first game, has a defensive-offensive stand, which I don't think quite fulfills its potential. Firis is a little bit more standard, whereas Lady Suelle goes back to being slightly adventurous with a 6-party team. 3 people in supporting roles. They work, they do their job, but the battle systems aren't why you're going to be playing these games. And the one major problem I have with the Atelier series as a whole is still very much present here. Enemy variety. I mean, it is just completely lacking, especially in Firis with the large open worlds littered by the same handful of beasts for the first dozen hours. This is still somewhat of a problem with the recent games, but less so. But like I said, fighting isn't why you're playing these. Outside in the world, you'll be tasked with gathering ingredients and then creating brand new recipes. I tell you what, I almost had a culture shock going from Atelier Sophie to Firis. Sophie's environments for exploration are numerous, but absolutely tiny. Firis, with massive open fields in her journey to the capital, oh my god, I think most of them are bigger than Rise's. The alchemic mixing is what you're here for though, right? I do think that what we have here is more in-depth than what we have now, and purists will enjoy the puzzle-like elements to crafting. For all these games, they are very similar with tweaks between entries to shake things up a little bit. Basically, you have a big square with a grid in it, like 5x5 as an example. Each ingredient takes up a certain amount of squares, and you need to squeeze them in to fit as snugly as possible. There's little bonuses to get as well if you match colors and cover certain areas. It's really good. Simple looking, but deep. Fans of the mixing will enjoy these for sure. Passing on traits is as fun as ever to make the best quality items as possible. New items come thick and fast. It's all good. It is worth noting that these games are all the DX versions, which means extra content, most of the DLC for each game, and also some gameplay bonuses. So you have all the music tracks, most of the costumes, and the extra characters. For me, the best addition is the speed up function for the battles. Clicking the left analog stick will enable a 1.5 speed up, or 2 times, for when you're grinding away. This is a lifesaver, or time saver I guess, especially due to the lack of enemy variety that I mentioned earlier. You know, killing the millionth puny is just, it saves the day really, the speed up function. Fans who are more into the cutesy side of things, there's the addition of a photo mode, which seems to be a staple feature of the series now. Sadly, it doesn't do anything for me, but it's there for those who enjoy it. So the question, which is the better of the three? Well, I enjoyed them all in their individual ways, but I think Lydie and Suelle is the better one for me. I reviewed this one itself many moons ago, and although I only got a quick refresher for this package, you know, I'm not mental enough to play the whole thing again, I think it's the better one for me. In terms of presentation, I'm just lumping the visuals and audio together here for fear of repeating myself across how many Atelier reviews. Well, firstly, the environments, well, it's not great. There's a lot of flat models, but I respect that these are massive JRPGs made on a budget and incredible time constraints. But the character models, oh boy, are they as brilliant as ever. I've never seen character models pop off the screen as well as they do in the Atelier games, especially of this era. The colors, the shading, the crispness, the detail, honestly, they're just magnificent. The audio is as brilliant as ever. The Gust sound team, I promise I will learn their names eventually. They always do a grand job. They have a very eclectic soundtrack mixing loads of themes within, and some of them are incredible. A nice touch to these DX releases is the customizable music, whereby you can swap any song you want for pretty much any music track in the entire series' history. If you want the battle theme to be the, the Atelier shop theme from Atelier Rorona, be my guest. It's bizarrely unrestricted and great. In terms of value, each game is available digitally for a rather hefty $40, or you can save yourself a lot of dough if you buy the pack for a much more reasonable $90 or your regional equivalent. Individually, that price is a no, but as a pack, it's much better. And there's a 10% pre-order discount, which makes it even better than that. Personally, as expensive as that bundle is, 1, it's 3 JRPGs. 2, it's 3 Atelier JRPGs, and they always carry a hefty price. I mean, just look at the non-DX version of Lydie and Suelle. That is still $60. Just let that sink in. I know some will definitely begrudge the price, and I totally understand that, but it could be worse, guys. On the other hand, if you're wanting some proper value, then how about a physical version? Would you do what now? Yeah, I mean, in the West, this is digital only, but in Southeast Asia, like Singapore and such, they are getting a physical copy of this triple pack with English, all on one cartridge, all DLC and such. Yeah, I mean, look, Hong Kong and Japan are too, but those do not have English. But Singapore, British colonialism brought great terrible things upon the world. Wars, corruption, poverty, disasters. But, physical Switch games with English, guys, it's not all that bad. Yes, there's a standard edition which, delivery aside, costs the same as the digital price in the US, even less if you use our discount code. There's even a couple of collector's editions too. The cheaper one comes with an arranged soundtrack CD, a poster and some postcards, while the super expensive edition comes with all that plus a wall scroll, some clear folders, and a mini crystal paperweight. If any of those take your fancy and you want to import a physical, tangible cartridge for yourself, then down below I have put links as to where you can buy it for yourself. You can own it and play it forever, unlike the digital version whenever the servers are eventually switched off, like with what's happening with the Vita right now. Those Vita Atelier games, say goodbye to them. Anyways, if you use our links, it also massively helps support the SwitchWatch team in what we do. It helps us immensely, and we cannot thank you enough. In return, if you use our links, you can also get a very swell 5% off any physical item from PlayAsia if you use the coupon code SwitchWatchTV while checking out. That's all one word, SwitchWatchTV, while checking out for 5% off any physical item. Now just remember, not the Japanese or Hong Kong version. You want the Southeast Asian version. Just follow the link in the description and that will send you to the correct one, okay? Don't make a mistake. It's an expensive mistake to make. Overall, as a package, JRPG fans will love this deluxe pack. It's a pack of really sweet games that are probably better than the sum of their parts. 3 nice games come together to make something great. They are underdog JRPGs, and it's nice to see the series thrive so nicely on the Switch. Of course, they are not the best games in the series, and I find it impossible to say whether this is worth it to those who have been totally overwhelmed with the Atelier games, but if you're gagging for more, then you can't go wrong. I mean, play Rise of 1 and 2 first, because they're like the best of the series, but if you need some more, then how about this trilogy or the Dust trilogy? For me, this package is an 8 out of 10. Alright, many thanks for watching. If you watched all the way through, you are an absolute legend of the highest order. The longer you watch, the more YouTube likes us and shows us to other people, right? If you're one of those legends, leave me a nice little potion emoji in the comments, then I know who you are, and I can give you one back and say thank you. Big thanks to our executive producers Dane Wilkinson, God of Resin, Boombox, Brent McLean, Jonathan Room Organica, Santa Tartaruga, Alolan Jojo, Alexander Cato, JCrod7776, Elisa, Punky Dooster, Michael Del Polito, and Cigar Trucker. Check out our other Atelier reviews that I've done, plus on Monday, I do all the physical Switch games releasing, this trilogy featured in that video, plus James's Bargains video every Sunday. We'll see you guys over there. Have a good one.